1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Danishka Madhavala and read by Niranjan Abesundara. President Wickremesinghe holds a meeting with the President of Uganda. The government has focused attention to set up a grocery outlet chain which sells only VAT-free items. The government decided to set up an independent commission to bring justice for the people who were affected due to the 30-year-long war. Minister Anitha said that everyone must work responsibly at this juncture. IMF expresses satisfaction towards Sri Lanka's efforts made in debt restructuring process. In world news, Netanyahu defies pressure on Palestinian state. In sports news, Mbappe scores twice for PSG in French Cup stole. During his official visit to Uganda, President Wickremesinghe engaged in a formal meeting with the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, last afternoon. President Museveni warmly welcomed President Wickremesinghe, and following a friendly exchange, bilateral discussions commenced. During the meeting, President Yoweri Museveni expressed his joy at President Wickremesinghe's acceptance of the invitation for the official visit and lauded the significant role in revitalizing Sri Lanka's economy. President Museveni commended the nation for its achievements in this regard. The leaders delved into discussions about Sri Lanka's new economic program, with President Wickremesinghe highlighting the positive economic trajectory since entering into an agreement with the National Monetary Fund. He emphasized anticipated growth in 2024. Mr. Foreign Affairs Ali Sabri also shared his remarks. He noted that many in Sri Lanka initially viewed rebuilding the economy as a complex task, but believed that President Wickremesinghe was the right person for the job. The conversation extended to discussions on further enhancing bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and Uganda across various domains. The government has focused attention to set up a grocery outlet chain which sells only VAT-free items. Rice, vegetables, fruits, medicines and infant formula will be sold in these outlets. The prices of these items have gone up after grocery stores have added VAT for these items. Ms. Bandar said these outlets will be operated in a Road Development Authority premises. Addressing a ceremony held in Kaduwal area, the minister said that a feasibility study is now being carried out in this regard, and the minister has already instructed officials to open these outlets in selected RDA premises. The government decided to set up an independent commission to bring justice for the people who were affected due to the war prevailed in the country from 1983 to 2009. Director General of Interim Secretariat for Truth and Reconciliation, Dr. Asang Gulamadana once said that the Secretariat will conduct the basic needs of this commission. At the end of 30-year-long war in 2009, several commissions have been set up for the purpose of increasing peace and reconciliation, but none of these commissions were long-lasted. The policies were implemented through the government ruled the country time to time. The government identified a need to set up the commission in this regard due to this reason. The Liberty Gazette notification has already been issued. Interim Secretariat has decided to obtain ideas from various parties such as intellectuals and different pressure groups. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Mr. Anitha said that everyone must work responsibly at this juncture. He said that there are many benefits for the country through the agreement linked with the IMF. Addressing the media after an event held in Amisabela area, the minister said that the opposition leader is making old statements regarding the IMF, saying that the IMF agreement will be changed under his government. The minister also said that when the country was able to strengthen the weakened economy after the IMF agreement, he reiterated that there will be no benefit for the country from those statements made by the opposition leader for the sake of popularity. The National Monetary Fund mission team led by Peter Brough expresses satisfaction towards Sri Lanka's efforts made in debt restructuring process. They concluded a visit in Sri Lanka on Friday and discussed recent microeconomic developments and progress in implementing economic and financial policies under ETF management. At the end of the mission, Rose said that economic reform program implemented by the Sri Lankan authorities is yielding the first signs of recovery. Real GDP recorded positive growth of 1.6% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2023, the first expansion in 6 consecutive quarters. Shortages of essentials have eased and inflation remains contained. Gross international reserves increased by $2.5 billion during 2023, and preliminary data point to improved fiscal revenue collection during the first quarter of 2023. However, challenges remain as these improvements need to translate into improved living conditions for Sri Lankan people, the IMF delegation said. That was local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
Senior advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of the Personal Staff, Sagara Ratnayaka, stated that irrespective of the opposition's criticism, the people will witness the outcome of the government's new economic reforms. He emphasized the importance of safeguarding the country's law and order during this development. He expressed his views while addressing a meeting organized on Friday at the Nellupokana Theatre in Colombo to raise awareness among the members of the police committees of the Colombo South Division. During his address, Mr. Ratnayaka stressed the necessity of creating an environment where people can live without fear and doubt, highlighting the importance of law and order for attracting investors and facilitating business activities. He drew a parallel with developed countries, emphasizing the need for transparency in law and order and the allocation of resources to capital, human resources and technology. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
This is Watchlight.
The epidemiology unit of the Health Ministry is continuing its MMR catch-up immunization program for children aged between 9 months and 15 years over the weekend. Accordingly, today, the last day of the program, measles vaccination rollout was kicked off after observing a decrease in measles vaccination rates both globally and regionally during the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Epidemiology units say this decrease resulted in a significant surge in the incidence of measles cases on both the global and regional level. Parents are requested to get their children vaccinated today from the nearby clinic.
Coming up, World News.
Netanyahu defies pressure of a Palestinian state. Germans float ban on elected far-right AfD party after scandal. Trump claims his rival not able to deal with Putin. Benjamin Netanyahu has again insisted Israel should retain security control of all Palestinian territories. The Israeli Prime Minister said this condition was contrary to a future Palestinian state being established. His comments on Saturday defied a pressure on his government from US and others to commit to future Palestinian statehood. Netanyahu said US President Joe Biden discussed the future of Palestinian territories in a call on Friday. Israel Prime's latest intervention appeared to deepen a public divide between the government and the US over future government of Gaza and the West Bank when the Gaza conflict comes to an end. Germany is wrestling with a potentially explosive debate over whether to ban the far-right Alternative Party of Germany or AfD. Germans have been shocked by revelations that senior figures attended a meeting there. Mass deportations were allegedly discussed. A growing backlash was sparked large protests and public condemnation. The AfD, which continues to poll second nationally, said it's being scandalously smeared by opponents. It was to investigate outlet Corrective that released a bombshell report about a secret meeting at a hotel near Berlin in November involving around 20 people, including senior AfD figures and neo-Nazi influences. Former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, does not have the capacity for high-level politics, Donald Trump told reporters at a campaign event in New Hampshire on Friday. The former U.S. president questioned the Republican rival's ability to deal with world leaders such as Russia's Vladimir Putin or China's Xi Jinping. Well, former South Carolina Governor Haley seeks to consolidate her second place in the race for GOP presidential ticket ahead of Tuesday's New Hampshire primary. Trump said she is not tough enough for the job. Trump currently holds a commanding lead in the race to challenge the presumptive Democratic candidate Joe Biden in November's election, according to polling aggregate 538. Back to the headlines of the world news. Netanyahu defies pressure of a Palestinian state. Germans float ban elected far-right AfD party after scandal. Trump claims his rival not able to deal with Putin. That was World News.
Development News.
21 drug manufacturing companies have come forward to invest in drug production industries in the Olamadu-Asua Siripura drug manufacturing zone, Alayapura, North Central Province. Governor Mahipal Hairat, who was the chief guest at the foundation link ceremony for a new drugs manufacturing plant in Siripura, Olamadu, recently said that a 100-acre landscape located in the Olamadu former Datakurula exhibition venue has been reserved for the company to start drug manufacturing industries, which should provide 2,000 direct and 7,500 indirect job opportunities to professionally qualified skilled and unskilled personnel. The North Central Province Governor, along with the Northwestern Province Governor Lakshman Yapa Abhivardhana and Parliamentarian S.M. Chandrasenas, laid the foundation for the construction of the drug manufacturing factory of New Life Biotech Private Limited Drugs Company in Ulamadua, Suasiripura Drugs Manufacturing Zone at a cost of $8.5 million.
Moving on with sports news.
Kylian Mbappe had a hand in all 4 goals as Paris Saint-Germain beat third-tier Orleans to reach the French Cup last 16. He netted the opener with a low finish and then scored a penalty following a handball, taking him up to 28 goals in 26 games for PSG this season. The France captain crossed the Gonzalo Ramos to head in. Nicolas Senrauf scored a consolation before Mbappe set up a teenager Seni Malolo for his first PSG goal. That was sports news.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Spotify has launched an outspoken attack on new transaction fees of up to 27% being levied by Apple in the US. On Wednesday, Apple announced it will permit app developers to sell products in places other than its own store, but only if they still paid commission. Spotify said that was outrageous and accused Apple of stopping at nothing to protect its profits. It is urging the British government to prevent similar fees being levied in the UK. Apple has been approached for comment. The firm introduced the fees in the US as a result of long-running legal battle with Fortnite developer Epic Games. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On economic news, the ongoing Red Sea crisis following the attacks by Houthi rebels from Yemen, which had disrupted usual shipping lines, has created an opportunity for all major ports, Colombo, Hambantota, Agol in Sri Lanka. Maritime expert and CEO of Shippers Academy Colombo, Rohan Maskoral, said the Red Sea crisis has forced the international shipping lines to operate on the route to change course and sail close to Sri Lanka waters, bring more business in Colombo port. He said that due to the crisis, we see ship movements to Colombo harbour increasing by almost 70%, and the large ships will anchor in the Colombo harbour and engage in transshipment business, bring unsuspected forex to Sri Lanka. Maskola said that the neighbouring regional ports would not get disadvantage as the geographical location and the deep sea facilities available in Sri Lanka are unmatched.
Weather report.
Slow cells of showers may occur in the north central, eastern and lower provinces. Showers on the showers will occur at several places. The central and sub-Goa provinces and the Galle and Mathura districts after 2 p.m. Misty conditions can be expected in some places in the western, sub-Goa and central provinces and the Galle and Mathura district during the morning tomorrow. Back to the headlines of the news. President Wickremesinghe holds a meeting with the President of Uganda. Government has focused attention to set up a grocery outlet chain which sells only VAT-free items. The government decided to set up an independent commission to bring justice to the people who were affected due to the 30-year-long war. Ms. Ranjit said that everyone must work responsibly at this juncture. IMF expresses satisfaction towards Sri Lanka's efforts made in debt restructuring process. In world news, Netanyahu defies pressure over Palestinian state. Sports news, Mbappe scores twice for PSG in the French Cup stroll. With that, in the afternoon news, time 1:31 at Radio Sri Lanka, and until 2 p.m. let's enjoy music with lunch.